you came on in the Colombia game. You created a big chance for Drew Spence. When the ball went to Drew, did you think that was a goal?
Yeah, for sure. For sure. I'm like, first of all, that was a great cross that I gave him.
Great cross, right.
This would be a goal for sure.
Okay, greetings, sports fans. Welcome back to another episode of the Off the Bench podcast. Today, I'm joined by a very special guest, as you can see. Just a regular girl, fresh from Australia, fresh from making history. Tiffany Cameron, welcome.
How are you? It's nice to be back. I'm a little bit jet lagged.
Right.
The long trip and the time difference and stuff, but I'm happy to be here, and I'm looking forward to this interview.
Great. And I just want to take time out to say congrats, making history, making it to the second round of 16, Jamaica, very proud of the girls. We really appreciate the work that you guys put in. And, extremely proud, as I said before. And we can't wait to see you guys at the National Stadium against Canada for the Olympic qualifiers.
That's going to be a big game. And there's a couple of players who are also half Jamaican, and they play for Canada. So this game is extra special.
Yeah, man. Nice derby game.
Yeah.
All right. So Tiffany, you were born in Toronto. How was it growing up? And talk to us about when you made that switch to play for Jamaica in 2019.
So I actually started playing football at the age of 9. It was really late. Before that, I was into gymnastics. I was into swimming, playing the piano, basketball, hockey. I was in all sorts of sports, and track and field as well too. I don't know if I mentioned volleyball, and yeah, it started with me playing during recess in elementary school, and everyone's like, "Tiff, you're actually really good at soccer. You should join a league." And I'm like, yeah, I guess so. It was kind of just casual like that, and I ended up playing for North Mississauga. That was my first team. And after I think about a year or two, I went to Erin Mills and I played with them for quite a while. We went to the Gothia Cup tournament. It was in Sweden, so there's a lot of exposure that I got. And eventually, I made my way on the Canadian youth national team, and went to my first World Cup in 2008. That was a really cool experience as well. That was in New Zealand. So that's kind of ironic that some of the games were in New Zealand this year and some were in Australia. So
right.
We made it all the way up to the quarterfinals. I remember I had an assist that game, so that was cool. But Germany, they beat us 3-1, so that was exciting, of course. And then I went to Ohio State, played there for 4 years, and my degree there is strategic communications. And after that, I have been playing professional soccer ever since. So, I played a little bit in NWSL. I went to Germany. I played in Germany for 2.5 seasons. I went to Israel, Cyprus with the Poland ladies. Went there for Champions League. That was my first experience playing in Champions League. And also Sweden, Norway, Hungary. Yeah, I've been around. And I'm blessed that, God has blessed me with these talents that I can travel the world and meet new people and learn to adjust to different situations. And then in 2018 is when, of course, Jamaica qualified for the World Cup for the first time in history. And Coach Busby, at the time, he was the coach, and he reached out to me and he said, "Hey, Tiff, are you interested in playing for Jamaica, competing for a spot to go to the World Cup? I know you know that we've made history." And it's interesting because back in, I think, 2014, he was trying to recruit me to play for Jamaica. And I was still young, and I was still part of the Canadian national team pool. And I told him I wasn't ready. But he made me aware of the changes that would be happening in the program. So, of course, I wanted to see some of those changes before I committed, because I knew it would be a huge commitment, you know, and I wouldn't be able to go back, you know, if things weren't right. So, yeah, a couple of years went by, and then he reached out to me again and said, hey, Tiff, like, we've kind of started getting things sorted with the program. Financially, things are much better. But we're wondering if you were interested in coming to play for Jamaica. And I said, hey, I think now's the time. You know, and I'm so happy that I made that decision. It was probably one of the best decisions that I've ever made in my life. And I have absolutely no regrets. I enjoyed my time with Team Canada, but it was time for me to do something new, start a new journey. And I knew that I was going to be one of the more experienced players, and that I needed, that I could bring my qualities and my experience to Jamaica. So that switch was an amazing thing for
me. Yeah, and we're happy that you made that switch. Yeah, but going back to your club career, as you stated earlier, you've played football in a lot of countries, and you've played on 12 different teams. In your last stint with in Hungary, 3 cups in 3 seasons. How was your time at Hungary?
Oh, that was great. I mean, both clubs that I played for had some really good players. I remember before I moved to Hungary, my agent reached out to me and was like, Tiff, I have a great opportunity for you. You know, Budapest is a beautiful city. The club's very professional. They have a lot of players who also ended up leaving and going to play in higher leagues and stuff. And he's like, trust me, this will be a great fit for you. So I went, and I was so happy. I was blown away by the talent of Betis. That's my first club that I played for in Hungary. And, you know, they were amazing. And I learned a lot of things there, you know, technically and tactically. They were at a high level. They were playing at a high level. And it was cool to win my first trophy there with that team, you know, the Hungarian Cup and the league. And yeah, I enjoyed my experience. And at the end of the year, I spoke to my agent, and I had another opportunity to play for Eto, which is the club I played for 2 years. And, you know, it was a tough decision, because it was one of those things where I could have possibly stayed with Ferencváros and only signed for Champions League, because that was presented to me as a possibility. Or I could have went to play for Eto, and then I would have had a probably longer contract. And, you know, they were making a lot of changes during the time as well, too. And they thought that I would be a great fit there. So I knew that the World Cup was going to be 2 years from then. So I said, you know what, I want to stay somewhere for 2 years and develop, and then we'll see what happens afterwards. But sometimes, you know, in situations in the past, I've played for clubs, and it either hasn't been the best fit for me, or we've gotten relegated. My club has gotten, there's 3 times that I've played for a club that has been relegated. So that means you go down to the 2nd division, and you have to make a decision. Are you going to stay there, or are you going to go somewhere and play at a higher level? So I had to leave 3 times, and I didn't have a choice because of those situations, you know. Sometimes I've had injuries as well, too. I know when I was in Sweden, I was really unlucky because I was coming off of a minor surgery. And then I tried to come back too soon, and I injured myself again. And I was only there for 6 months, which was upsetting, because I think that's a country that has quality football, and I would have really enjoyed myself. So that was also on my radar. After I was finished in Hungary, I had a couple of countries that I told my agent. I said, look, I'm really interested in these countries. Let me know what pops up. And a lot of opportunities. There were a lot of interest in good leagues as well, too. So I knew it was time for me to leave Hungary. And, you know, I'm happy with what I did there. It's great to just come home with a whole bunch of trophies. And I need a trophy case. I really need like a
cabinet
case now because
yeah.
everything's all cram up.
Yeah, and congrats, you made the switch from Hungary and you're now heading to Spain with Real Betis. How did that move come about? Walk us through that.
So they actually, I was quiet about this. They were actually interested in me since January of this year. They've been watching me and they loved like my style of play and what I brought to the table. And my agent actually told me about this from January, and I said, okay, well, that's amazing. I got to keep doing what I'm doing. We'll see what happens by the end of the season. We'll weigh all of my options, and then I'll be able to make uh, the best decision for myself. So what was it? In June is when I had a conversation with my former club, and I told them, I said, look, I have a really good opportunity to play in a higher league, and they wanted me to stay. And even my club before that, Fenerbahce, they wanted me to come back. It's interesting because when I left there, they wanted me to come back like 3 times, and I told them, I said, look, like I have to commit to my new club, which was Eto, and I knew that I could make a big difference there as well too. So it was one of those things. So the end of the season, June came around. I told them I will be returning. Thank you for this opportunity, and I had a great time. And yeah, it was one of those things. And I didn't make the announcement that I signed with Real Betis until the World Cup started. I think it was like maybe 1 or 2 games into the World Cup is when I made that announcement. But I knew about the signing for a long time. I just, you know how it goes. You have to be professional with it and let the club announce you first before you say.
Right.
It was a secret that I was holding. I mean, only my really, really close like loved ones and some players from the team knew, because they had to know as well too, because we had to give our manager information about our club and stuff for the following month. So I had to let them know. But yeah, I was really excited once they made the announcement.
Yeah, and I know that you're happy with the move. We've seen over the past 24 hours, Atlanta Primus getting a move to Southampton. Centre back Alice Swaby moving to AC Milan. Do you think that you might have signed that deal a little bit too early? Maybe should have waited until after the World Cup. Any regrets?
No, I have no regrets. And you know what I like the most is that they didn't care where I was playing. They looked at what I was doing on the field and my impact, and they were loyal from January. They said, we want this woman. And I rather have a club really pay attention to me like that and, watch my games as well too, than wait till the World Cup and be like, oh wow, she's good, let me sign her. Like I'm all about loyalty, and I know also that club, they're very professional as well too, the way they deal with things, and just women's football is skyrocketing in Spain. Spain was actually my top place. Like that's where I really, really wanted to sign my next
Okay.
So it was one of those things where I'm like, yeah, I'm going.
Yeah,
so no
definitely.
regrets about signing to her, and nope, and they handled me with care and professionalism, and that's all that I can ask for.
All right, let's get into the World Cup. Part of history makers, 2023 Reggae Girls. What was the feedback like in Australia? You girls have been getting all the love. How was that like on social media from friends, family, everyone?
Wow. I think that's the most support we've ever felt, from our friends, family, fans, just around the world. And it was one of those things where going into the tournament, a lot of people expected us not to get out of the group stages because we're playing against Brazil and France. I mean, Panama's a good country as well too, but like the expectations by other people were low of us. But we knew that we had to come play our A game, and we had it in us to get past the group stages. Like we all believed, and I think that's really special when a group can come together and believe that they can make it further than say other people. So I think we have the heart, we have the passion, and we're committed to being our best selves on and off the field, and that's what carried us through.
Yeah, and I know you guys believed, but after that nil-all with France, did you guys get more confidence that you could,
Yes.
make it out the group?
A lot of us said we're making it out of the group stage. If we could tie France 0-0, we're making it out of the group stages. We already believed that, and of course it gave us more confidence after that result. And I mean, I was so proud of everyone. I unfortunately didn't get in the game, but it didn't matter to me that I didn't play that game because we got the job done.
Right.
Of course, I don't know if you saw, but I was warming up and I was getting ready to come on, but the time ran out, and
Oh.
yeah,
No,
yeah.
I didn't notice that.
Yeah, I was actually supposed to play in that game. I was warming up like almost all the second half. And I was supposed to come on way earlier, but the flow of the game, things change and stuff.
And then the red card for Bunny.
Yeah,
that changes stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So, but I remember when the whistle blew, I like sprinted on the field and celebrated with the girls. And usually for players who don't play many minutes or who didn't play at all, we have to do fitness at the end. And I was too busy celebrating, and then I walked around the field thanking fans, and then I got to my fitness. I said, no, this is a special moment. The fitness can wait.
Right.
I'll do that later. So I was like the last one out running, getting obviously my workout in. But it was just it was such an amazing game to watch and just be there and cheer my teammates on. And that's the one thing about me. I think every player always wants to play, and sometimes you're going to be asked for a different role. So for me, I've had times where I've been a starter. I've had times where I've been a substitute. I've had times where I've been a cheerleader on the bench, and I've embraced all of those moments because those are important. I think everyone has a role, and
right.
Okay, and be supportive of that role.
Yeah, good stuff. The defense, Tiffany. The defense was unreal. What was the difference, and what was your role defensively when you were on the pitch, especially at right back?
Yeah, so I mean, we've been working on some things for quite a long time. Staying compact and communicating more and stuff, and I think we've improved tremendously back there. Yep. And we just had this like rhythm. I don't know. Everyone had each other's backs. And I think for me, my role going back there is to, of course, stay with the back line, but also bring my attacking presence. And I think that's something that I did really well at the World Cup. When I got the ball, I wanted to look forward. I wanted to create opportunities for us. And, sometimes fullbacks will be asked to sit back a little bit. Sometimes they'll be encouraged to move forward. And for me, since I already have an attacking mindset, as a winger or striker, I want to get forward. I want to create things. So that's, picking and choosing when my time is to get forward and join the attack. I think that's something that's one of my biggest strengths, because when I get forward, I'm dangerous. So I'm actually really happy that I've been given this opportunity to also play in another position, because now coach knows that he can rely on me in both positions, and whatever the game needs is where I'll be.
You came on in the Colombia game. You created a big chance for Drew Spence. When the ball went to Drew, did you think that was a goal?
Yeah, for sure. I'm like, first of all, that was a great cross that I gave him.
Cross,
right? This would be a goal for sure. Because she's a clinical player. She's one of our best players. I'm like, for sure. And when I saw her going up for that, I'm like, she's scoring for sure. And I actually started celebrating, and then it just missed, and I'm like, no. Oh. I'm like, that was the moment.
Unlucky.
If she scored that goal, we would have won the game. I think that we would have gotten so much energy from that.
Yeah, the momentum.
We are not going to penalties. We're winning this game. That's the type of energy I would have had. I would have went crazy. But I mean, it happens, some of the best in the world get opportunities and they don't capitalize. And, I'm really proud of our team. I'm proud of Drew as well. She had a great tournament. She was one of our key players. It's hard. I think it's a lot on the mind and also, the body to play 90 minutes every game. And that's pretty much what was asked of her. So You know, I think she should be proud of herself, and everyone's happy. Either way, even though we lost that game, I think we're all fought really hard and we wanted to win. It just wasn't our game.
Yeah, and you know, exit at the hands of Colombia. What was the feeling like? You know, did you guys think that you could have beaten this Colombia team and
Absolutely.
make more history?
Absolutely, absolutely. I think we had it in us. It just it wasn't our day, and that happens sometimes. We have very quality players. We had quality players starting. We had quality players on the bench, and it just wasn't our day, unfortunately. So I think if we had maybe a little bit more time, maybe things could have been different.
Yeah. How impressive, was the back four and Becky Spencer.
They came to play. What I liked about our back four was that, say, if someone made a mistake, there was always someone there to cover.
Right.
Obviously, the last game when they scored against us, that was just unfortunate. There wasn't anyone there to cover there.
Yeah, she was kind of isolated.
Yeah. I mean, it's something we spoke about. I think the coaches did a really good job preparing us. Obviously you do some scouting reports and stuff. So it's something we did speak about them wanting to do the switch quickly and just being aware of that. But like I said,
but it was to me it was a good ball. It was a good switch.
An excellent ball, and
it was a good switch.
Straight to the girl. She just took a fantastic touch and scored.
Right.
I mean, it was a good goal. I can't lie. But of course, our positioning probably could have been better. That was our weakest moment in the tournament. But we'll learn from that. And like I said, I think we should still be proud of what we were able to accomplish.
Now, how would you rate your individual performance during the World Cup?
Oh, I was happy with my performance. I think compared to the last World Cup, I was way better. I think there's a lot of improvement technically and tactically. Of course, I wish that I played a little bit more because I know for me, I'm one of those players when I'm on the field, people feel my presence. Like I will create opportunities, whether it's for myself or for my teammates. So I'm actually really, really happy with my performance. I mean, there's one shot that I made when I was at right back when I went up forward. I wish I scored that.
In the Panama game.
The moment before that, though, the goalkeeper came out, and it was kind of it was one of those things, if I decided to extend my foot fully, I would have probably gotten a red card. So I have to be very smart, or I could have gotten really injured. So I had to kind of flick it over her, but in the path of where Kayla was, or trying around the goal, but the defenders picked that up, and I was able to still create something out of nothing, Too bad my shot went wide. But I want to do that more. I want to be able to get forward like that, create at least like 2 to 3 chances a game for myself as a right back, because that's important, I think, and having the confidence to shoot, and do that. So I want to have more moments like that, and I think if I continue to train in that position, I'll be able to create more opportunities like that for myself.
Do you see yourself as a right back in the future?
Yeah, I mean, it depends on
when the coach
the demand of the game. Yeah. So, for example, last game, I think that was a fantastic tactical decision that coach subbed me on as a right winger, because we needed more attack, right? So we already had Tierney back there as a right back, and she had a fantastic tournament. So I can understand why he didn't want to switch things up so drastically for that game. So it's one of those things where it's it depends on what the game is asking. So, for example, last game, the game asked me to be a right winger, and that's where I should have played, right? There's other games where I need to be a fullback, and that's what it is. So, to be honest with you, I'm open to both positions. It's not I only need to play here, because I don't believe in that. I think sometimes the game changes, and you have to be able to be comfortable in different positions. Even for example, I could probably play wing back as well too at some point. If we ever wanted to change how we played, that would be a fantastic position for me, I think, But it's up to the coaches, right? So I just have to stay.
We have a good young core of players.
Oh, yeah.
thoughts on, how good are, Cameron Simmons, Soleil Washington,
Yeah,
Paige Bailey Gale, McNamara,
yeah,
Jody Brown, etc.
yeah. They're great. And they're the future, and I think it's so important that they're in this environment now, and they're learning so many things because 4 years from now, we'll be back at the World Cup and they're
Mm-hmm.
going to be so much more experienced. Because I even feel
Experience.
like from last World Cup, like I said, for me, I've improved so much from the last World Cup. So they're already amazing right now and doing great things on the field. I can't even imagine how they're going to be 4 years from now.
4 years.
I'm
Yeah, right.
so
Exactly.
excited to see their growth. And I think the future is bright for Jamaica.
Good, good. Now, Coach Donaldson, his current contract will end after the Canada Games. I would think that the girls, appreciate him and would want for him to come back.
Yeah, I mean,
Am I
I
right?
I actually didn't even know that
Yes.
contract. So that's
Yes.
surprising to me. I think he's done a fantastic job with our team, and he sometimes he doesn't say too much, but he says the right things, and it gets us thinking. And when he knows what he's doing, and he's
Right.
a very intelligent coach, and I respect him. And I hope he stays around. I mean, of course, that's a decision on him, but I think the girls have been really happy with him and the decisions that he's made. So I guess we'll see what ends up happening. But yeah, I had no idea that his contract was going to be up.
Okay. Well, you heard it here first.
Yeah.
All right, some quick fire questions
Okay.
before we close off. All right. Tiffany, favorite teammates? I'm going to give you two.
Okay. Um, Shinilu Asher and Kayla.
Sure. Okay, okay. All right, good stuff. Who's the best singer on the team?
Uh, Cameron Simmons.
Cameron Simmons. Oh, good one.
Apparently, she could sing. That's what I heard. So, and Shinilu Asher actually has a beautiful voice. So both of them are really good.
All right, the best dancer.
Jody Brown.
Definitely Jody. All right, now who will you have on your five-a-side team? Reggae girl five-a-side.
Oh, that's so hard. How could? Why would you ask me that? I don't want to answer that because it's gonna sound like I have a favorites and
Your
stuff.
favorite?
And I think everyone is great. So no, I don't want to answer that. That's
What if I say 11?
no.
Best
That,
11.
that's still a no. I can't answer that.
All right, yeah, plead the fifth. All right. All right, Tiffany. Do you think what the girls did in Australia will improve the women's game locally and hopefully bring in more sponsorship and support?
Yeah, I think making history in Australia that just opened a lot of doors for players that probably have been interested in playing for Jamaica, and now they're like, wow, they're a great team. I want to be a part of it. So, I think even for the local players, they have more motivation now. And what's nice is that there's a local league, and some countries don't have that. So, for example, in Canada, there's no professional league. So at least there are coaches in Jamaica for the national team that can be monitoring local players and giving them hope. So I think there's going to be a lot of competition. There's going to be a lot of players now that are coming from different countries that might have some Jamaican heritage and they want to play for Jamaica now. So that means that us players that are currently here have to step up or have to maintain what we're doing so that we stay.
All right. What advice do you have for young girls, that want to follow their dreams? Not necessarily in football, it might be track and field, whatever sport.
I would say it's so important to love what you do and know why you do what you do. And, to take care of your mind. I think having a healthy mindset and making sure you take care of your mental health in general is super important, and you stay disciplined and committed to your craft. And You know, sometimes people will focus on what they aren't good at, and they will forget about what they are good at. So I would say fine tuning the things that someone's good at, and then also working on their weaknesses and putting everything together. So, you know, I think at the end of the day, if you believe in yourself that you can do something and you work hard and you have the right support system around you, then sky's the limit.
All right, folks, there you have it. Another epic interview. You know, this
Yes.
time, Tiffany Cameron, I want to thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me. It was a great interview.
So, folks, if you like the interview, please hit the like button. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe and share the video, okay? I'm Eddie Gona. That was Tiffany Cameron. You know the drill. Always remember, like, share, and subscribe.
Take care. Thank you for having me.
Yes, Gregory Simmons here on live with Eddie Vision. Please like, share the video. It's a great show. Happy to be a part of it.